Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tube, or welcome back if this is your 6th Doom Patrol Season 2 episode review. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all being safe out there. Hope you're being good to each other and all that sorts. Oh god, that ending was, out of nowhere. Didn't expect that whatsoever, or maybe something else more devious is going on. Yeah, also crazy that, like, we're finally, well, after the next episode review, I'll finally be caught up with the show, and then we're gonna end in 2 weeks, so great! Thank you, HBO Max, for giving us the first 3 episodes fairly early, and then having me contemplate what to do. It's not really my fault. I mean, I did what I thought was best for the reviews, and I'll stick by them. But anyway, so this week, we're heading into space. This was kind of a slow episode. I mean, I think the only storylines I felt, for me personally, that I felt more resonant with was Larry's and the real space one. But other than everyone else, I think this was just like serviceable to just kind of like continue their stories this week. I didn't really think they were. I mean, they were important, of course, but I didn't think they were like as necessarily. I don't know. I mean, I think that the log line for this week will be better than Space Force. I haven't seen Space Force on Netflix. Probably should. I mean, but I'm pretty busy doing all this and doing other stuff. So, do I have time to do it? I don't know. Maybe one day. So anyway, I gotta talk more about this episode. Let's go through the Butcher recap and talk about why this episode kind of is better than Space Force, even though I haven't seen the show yet. So we begin where the last week left off. We see Dorothy kind of being in shock after what the Candlemaker did to Jane's mind by killing 2 of her personas. Everyone in the underground's kind of like out of whack. It's like, this has never happened before. Well, it hasn't happened in a while, supposedly. And they just don't know what the fuck happened. They don't know what to do. This is all kind of like all new territory for them to handle. And eventually, what was that? Niles and Cliff go to try and find Dorothy, see where the hell she is, because after last week, they just need to know where the hell she went. Meanwhile, Larry and Rita return back to town after their escapades with Larry's family last week. Larry's apparently okay with it. He's apologizing to Rita for everything that happened, and before they begin to head off to the manor, apparently Rita wants to go off and to do the rehearsals for the play she got called in for last week. Or last time, I should say better. So she's going to head there, but she's apologizing to Larry that she's not going to be able to be there to help him on his current identity crisis or mental crisis. But Larry said, "I'm good. It's fine. Go do your thing." So anyway, as Larry's heading back, there's this. He hears this weird thing coming from the sky, heading down towards the manor. Meanwhile, back at the house, Cliff is looking for Dorothy, and he manages to find Jane in this weird, like, her face is, like, secluded in this white stuff. I don't know what it is. I guess it's the candle wax, I guess, for the indication that the Candlemaker was, that was kind of the remnant from his actions. Cliff takes her upstairs. Obviously, Howard Niles is more focused on Dorothy, but either way, Niles doesn't have an explanation to what the hell happened here. And then eventually, God, I forgot the names. Larry comes in, tells them that, hey, by the way, there's a spaceship outside the house. And it turns out, the brief Niles explanation is that when back in the 50s, he was working on this program with NASA, I believe, or some government organization to put people on an expedition in space to. It was one of his more immortality missions. Like, could he find the secret immortality in space? So he sent a trio of people up there to go look for it. Apparently, they're just coming back from their trip. But since Niles is more focused on getting Dorothy back, he tells Larry to go deal with them while he and Cliff go off to try and find Dorothy. Despite Cliff wanting to take care of Jane, Niles like, no, the priority is Dorothy right now. Jane is fine. She's alive. We'll worry about her later. So Larry goes to greet the space dwellers. No fancy name for that. I mean, there's a name like the Explorers or something, but yeah. Anyway, it's like typical 50s style humor. Like they are very touchy. They're very like retro, and they're all very well known people back in the day that even Larry knew from from reading around when he was a pilot. And apparently the girl, I forgot her name. Yeah, one of the woman explorer is revealed to have her own negative spirits similar to Larry. So they have that connection there. Eventually, meanwhile for Cliff and Niles, they managed to find a note that Dorothy left behind saying that she was sorry, she didn't do it. It was the candlemaker. I'm gonna leave. And then all of a sudden they see the spaceship that the explorers came in, and it turns out Dorothy's in that ship. How the hell did she activate that ship? I don't know. Like, I'm assuming there was an obvious like depart button or something, or I don't know how it worked. I really don't know. But once they noticed that apparently Niles had a second spaceship in case, so he and Cliff go off to space to chase after Dorothy. Meanwhile, I'm going to get through the Rita and the Jane storylines pretty quickly because there's not really much to tell. So for Rita, she heads to the theater. Initially, she's under the impression that like the play is just an established play already, but it turns out no, it's actually an original play that's based on the season 1 events of what happened to the town. You remember the events of season 1 about the donkey, the world inside the donkey, like the pocket dimension, all that sort of stuff. So she's writing a play about that experience, and Rita's like, "Oh my god!" So she's seeing like the events in like the another third person perspective. So, oh my god, that was so funny. Yeah, I mean the only real thing to take away is that Rita just gains another perspective of the events of season 1, and yeah, that's basically all for me. That's all I really took away from it. Like it's cool. Well, hopefully we'll see more of the play in like the later episodes. Meanwhile, for Jane, being as she is the de facto primary persona or primary personality, she's kind of having to take control of it, but they don't really know what to do with these two now dead personas. So their only solution is let's just hold a funeral for them, and then we'll see where we go from there. Jane's kind of trying to figure out like what can she do, but the personas are like let's just get this over with. Let's just put them in the well, give them their funeral, and then go from there. So as they're about to enter also sorry if I'm playing with my hair too much. As they're about to head to the well area, Jane tries to tell him like, "Hey, listen, let's not do this. Like, we don't know anything about this well business. Let's just wait until, I don't know, like something else happens." And then this other persona, this apparently this lost personality Jane had way before, reemerges from the well, claiming that she was once a fallen personality. She got from the well and she was reborn. And, she's telling them that that's going to be the same thing with these ones, so just throw them in there. And now Jane's, like, very much in shock, like, okay, so what happens now? And then she said, like, well, they're mostly now focused on the girl, i.e. Dorothy. So this persona basically tells her, let me show you how to do things. Let me take control for a while. So she manages to allow her access. But that happens towards the end of the episode, so sorry if I'm jumping around here. Anyway, back to In Space, where we see Niles, and it's weird that they went to space. That's kind of crazy. Also, comment on my beard. Well, not my beard, my facial hair. Actually, you can't see the side though because the light source is a little bit too glaring. But I don't know. Like I see. Yeah, you see. Anyway, back to the episode. Where was I? Oh yeah. So we're up in space, and Dorothy arrives first. How did Dorothy even know how to put on a spacesuit is like another question I have. But anyway, she's starting to walk on the moon because she decides, I'm not going to bother traveling farther. I'm just going to go to the moon because it's much more easier. She heads to the moon and she's having a conversation with the candlemaker about, recent events. And Dorothy's still trying to reject him and, reject his presence here there in her mind. So she manages to kind of push him away for a while. Cliff and Niles do eventually arrive back on the planet, on the moon. And since they have apparently no other spacesuit, or maybe because of the wheelchair, Niles can't do it. Cliff has to go out and has to go and get Dorothy back, so because he's a robot. I mean, there's a lot of other questions about this thing because like, how do they talk in space? Because like Cliff's technically, I don't know. I'm not really focusing much into this. So Cliff goes out, he walks across the moon, he finds Dorothy, but they have an honest heart-to-heart. Like they honestly talk about real problems, and Cliff sees a different side of Dorothy. You know, even though her imagination may have caused something to go wrong in Jane. I mean, she's still a girl. She's still a daughter of Niles. She's still a human being. So, Cliff manages to find a connection in her and decides to kind of like, you know what, you're all right, kid. Like, you're pretty good after all. So, afterwards, he heads back with her. She's happy. You know, she's happy with Niles again. And Cliff is like, has a change of heart and decides, like, if anything happens to Niles, that he would be more than happy to take care of Dorothy if anything happens. But before I end off that storyline, so back on Earth, Larry is kind of dealing with the explorers of space. I'm going to call them the space explorers. I can't just keep calling them that. He and the woman, which I forgot her name already, they're having an honest conversation about the negative spirits. How does she get hers? All that sort. So apparently Niles was detecting this abyss, this pocket abyss in space. So the explorer's mission was to go get the abyss and kind of like figure out what the hell it's doing. And then they finally catch up to it, and she goes out to investigate. And one of the negative spirits latches onto her. But the reason why she doesn't look like so disordered, or at least the radiation is not leaking from her, is that for 5 years she stayed in complete isolation to kind of like merge the spirit to her body, so she can maintain a regular humanoid form, but still have the negative spirit inside her. So the question is, can Larry do that? Is the question, since like his body's kind of technically burned. So can he really do that? Is another question. But either with that, like, Larry also has a question about the other two. Like, I forgot to talk about the other two ones, because they have this weird, like, slapping the ass thing going on. And apparently it turns out they are not the actual people they think they are. As apparently the original people of those bodies of those people died years ago. This is just like another remnants like taking over the body, so they're not really the right people in the bodies. So and then eventually they just kind of like stop working. So they decide to bury them, and Larry and her have one more conversation because she decides to head back to Russia, see how things have changed, and then once again head back off to space to kind of continue her journey throughout the cosmos, this time being alone. She kind of tells Larry if he wants to tag along, basically, but Larry decides no, he's going to stay and try to mend things with his family. And then there's like a conversation with him and the spirit, like, should you go up to space? And it's like, nah, you know what, we're going to stay down here. We're human beings. We got to stay down here and figure this shit out. And then back up in space, after Cliff tells Niles that he agrees to take care of Dorothy if something happens to Niles, if that he still needs some help. While Niles is happy, supposedly, when he asked Cliff to go and, secure Dorothy's helmet before they re-enter Earth's atmosphere, for some weird reason, Niles just locks Cliff outside in one of those like detached pods, and he just throws Cliff into space. And I'm so confused, like, what happened? Like, seriously, what happened? Like, what the fuck happened? Like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, he actually went on the moon to get your daughter, and you literally throw him out to space. Like, I don't understand. Like, I know the next episode's live, so I'm going to immediately watch it as soon as I can, but I'm so confused. Like, what the fuck happened? Like, Jesus, Niles, Jesus. And, that's where the episode ends. So Cliff is now stranded in space. Oh, I completely forgot about Vic. Like, I knew, like, wait, what about Cyborg? Well, what are you, because I was thinking of, like, Cliff and Vic. I'm like, oh my god, I forgot about Vic. I am so sorry. Like, this is exactly why I tell you guys, go watch the episode. Like, my butchered recaps can be funny, because I nearly forgot about Cyborg, like, the actual superhero of the team. Like, I completely forgot about him, and okay, so for Cyborg this week, he's still with Ronnie, the girl he's been sleeping with, well, trying to start a relationship with. And they're getting more chummy together. But Vic wants to really help her out, figure out the origins behind her mechanical abilities that have since been taken away. And he figures out while he's scanning her that one of the things that was left inside her is slowly killing her. So eventually she's gonna die if they don't figure out what to do. Vic, having feelings for her, doesn't want her to die, so he goes hacks in the military website to go figure out what the hell it's inside of her, and he manages to hack in, figures out a lot of things. But the main thing is that he finds out is that Star Labs, where his father works, was actually responsible for providing the government with some parts that were used to put in Ronnie. So he calls his dad up to ask questions, and his dad's like, "This for a girl, isn't it? Like, oh, young love, like, you're just doing this for her." And he's basically not really helping him out. He's just like chalking him like, you just love the girl too much. You really just want to be with her and trying to make her happy. You're not really caring about this. So he doesn't really give him a straight answer. So that was Cyborg's business of the week. We didn't get that much on him. I'm so sorry if I nearly forgot. I mean, it's not because I forgot the story. Like, I literally forgot about it. I'm sorry. It wasn't on purpose. That's what I'm trying to say. But overall, I did enjoy this episode. I thought it was pretty good. We got a more... I think the season's been mostly nice. Well, nice in development to Larry. We got to see more of him, and seeing more of Cliff is always hilarious for me to see. Everyone else was okay. Overall, it was a good episode. A basic good episode. That's all I can ask for a Doom Patrol episode. It was good. I'm happy with it. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to give this episode 2 thumbs up. I enjoyed it. Can't wait for the next episode, which is out right now, so I'm going to watch it immediately afterwards, and then, see why the fuck Niles threw Cliff off the freaking ship. I want to know now. Like, I'm so freaking surprised. But anyway, yeah, I think that's going to do it for me, guys. So if you're unaware, this was What's in the Tube from ActionX. If you want to know what we're doing overall on What's in the Tube, besides our Doom Patrol Season 2 episode reviews, we do DC Stargirl episode reviews each and every Friday after a brand new episode on Monday on DC Universe, the streaming service, and on Tuesday nights on the CW. Or you can catch it all for free on Wednesdays on the CW.com and on the CW app. We also do Perry Mason episode reviews each and every Monday after a brand new episode on Sundays on HBO. Good news on that front, that just got renewed for season 2, so we'll be back for more reviews in the near future, but good news aside. But if you only care about Doom Patrol and the season 2 episode review, then you're in luck. We'll be back, not tomorrow, I think, the day after that, because I think Perry Mason goes live tomorrow, so yeah. So the day afterward, you can come back and see the next episode review, and then we'll be caught up to date, and hopefully we will have a nice ease into the end. So if you want to know our remaining Doom Patrol Season 2 schedule, so our review for 7 comes out this Tuesday. Then the episode 8 review should be going live on Saturday, barring any delays in my life, because my life has been pretty crazy with work and such. That should be live on Saturday. Season finale the next week. And then once Season 2 wraps up, we will do a Season 2 review. That'll kind of tie into the Season 1 review, which will be spoiler-free and the start spoilers at the end, and kind of like, it'll be a more like condensed or recap of what I've been doing these last weeks. And then after that, we will be doing a Season 3 prediction video. Hopefully that HBO Max will be renewing the show for a 3rd season, which it really should. I mean, this show definitely deserves another season. It definitely does. I don't think these characters are done just quite yet, so hopefully we'll get a 3rd season. But we'll be doing a Season 3 prediction video when that happens. But until then, I think that's gonna... Yeah, but we'll be back soon. We'll be back like in a couple of days for the next review. But again, this was What's on the Tube from ActionX. If you want to see more of What's on the Tube, specifically our Doom Patrol Season 2 episode reviews, subscribe to us on ActionX on YouTube.com. Ring the bell for notification when the next Doom Patrol review is live. Like, favorite, share if you want to, but it does help us out in the long run, guys. It really does. As well as follow us on social media to be up to date on new videos, when they go live, any updates, all that sorts. And I'll see you, Fan Patrol, next time, in a couple of days for the next review. So, again, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this episode? Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? What was your reaction to Cliff being thrown out the space brig? And all that sorts. Let me know in the comments below. I'm always there for conversation. And I'll see you guys next week. Well, next time. You know what I mean.